Howdy, y'all! I'm Rissy, and I review things. Today, I'm reviewing 30 different hydrating sheet masks. That's right, this is the ultimate moisturizing showdown. We have contenders here from all over the world: Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and even some Western attempts. For information on what makes sheet masks great, why you shouldn't listen to naysayers about them, and to learn how to get the absolute most from sheet masking, watch my two-part series on sheet masks. Now there's lots of different kinds of sheet masks, but today's focus is very basic. I'm going for just straight up hydration, which means the focus here is on humectants and primarily hyaluronic acid. A humectant, of course, is anything that traps and holds water in your skin. What am I looking for in a sheet mask? Well, I naturally have dry skin, and I live in a very cold, dry climate. So what I need is sheet masks that really just pack that moisture into my skin. I also have quite a bit of texture, like enlarged pores and fine lines, that kind of thing. So I don't just want moisture. I want plumping. I want my skin to inflate with moisture so that light reflects off of my skin and gives that beautiful glossy look, so as to better counterfeit the dewy glow of youth. A good hydrating sheet mask is going to do all that, plus brightening your skin, and can even help with reducing inflammation and redness. Normally, I'm very anti-fragrance in my skincare products, but sheet masks are a different story. If I'm sheet masking every day, then I'll absolutely purchase one of those containers of daily sheet masks that is unfragranced. But for special occasions or whenever I'm filming, anytime I want my skin to be really just extra hydrated and plump, or for skincare emergencies, I turn to single-use sheet masks. And many of those have fragrance in them. And as long as you're not doing it every day, it's fine, even if you have skin like mine that sometimes reacts badly to fragrance. I also want a sheet mask that's gonna cling really nicely to my face and not just, fall off within a minute of applying it. If you've seen part 2 of my series on sheet masks, you know that I prefer to use them while I'm in the shower. And so I need something that's really gonna clasp my skin tightly in its moisturizing embrace. How do I test them? Very simple. Every day, as part of my morning skincare routine, I usually put on 4 layers of a humectant hydrating toner. And I have found that it's the layering that really helps keep the worst ravages of the cold at bay. So when I'm testing these sheet masks, instead of a 4th layer of hydrating toner, I put the sheet mask on. If these masks aren't adequately hydrating, I will absolutely feel it, usually within a couple of hours. Honestly, a Canadian winter is the perfect time and place to be testing hydrating sheet masks, because a great sheet mask can keep dehydration at bay all day, and a bad one almost instantly evaporates. I found this to be a pretty effective system. Any extra rules here as to how I'm evaluating these sheet masks? Well, citrus essential oils and fragrant essential oils in general are bad news. My skin really does not like them, and citrus essential oils have chemicals in them called furanocoumarins that burrow into your flesh and kill your skin cells, allowing the sun's radiation directly into your dermis to help cause sunburn, skin cancer, and hyperpigmentation. So major points off for any of those. If 2 products give you the exact same results, the cheaper one is always gonna win. And while single-use sheet masks are not destroying the planet, I generally prefer a minimum of packaging foo-for-ahs. I will ding a mask for having too many extra plastic bits in there. Oh, and of course, whenever I do one of these big reviews, I give away the winning product. Now you're gonna have to stick around till the end to learn how the giveaway works, and it is an international giveaway. Even if I have to charter a flight somewhere, I will find a way to do it. I have donned the robes of judgment and purified myself in the sight of gods and man. Let the battle begin! Burt's Bees Hydrating Sheet Mask. I'll admit that I have some biases against Western skincare brands that try to imitate Korean products, but I also try to have an open mind. I mean, who knows? Maybe a Western sheet mask could end up being incredible. It's definitely not this one. So the main problem with this mask is that it does not hydrate, it does not plump, it does not brighten, it does absolutely jack and shit. And why, may you ask? Well, for one thing, there's next to no mask essence in here. I wasn't able to squeeze out anything with which to pregame. The consistency is pretty runny, and then when you put it on your face, it immediately starts to peel off within a minute. The mask fabric is very scratchy and rough and stiff, and so it begins to pull away from your skin almost immediately. But also, it was irritating to my skin. I started to feel that uncomfortable, disturbance in the force kind of tingling. Plus my skin felt drier than before. I guess there is such a thing as a reverse sheet mask that sucks the moisture out of you. I had to use another freaking sheet mask to counteract the effects of this sheet mask. It sucks and it's stupid and I hate it. Coming in a close second in the worst category, by Wish Trend, Hours-long moisturizing gauze sheet mask. I found the description of hours-long moisturizing to be extremely alluring, but 'twas not to be. This sheet mask was gonna be ranked lower no matter what because it's got bergamot oil in it. Bergamot oil is the absolute worst offender in terms of citrus essential oils. The problems that it causes can last for up to 4 days. In order to rank highly, this was gonna have to be the most moisturizing, plumping sheet mask of all freaking time. It was not. In fact, it didn't really moisturize at all because the mask material began to shred itself and decompose on my face while I was wearing it. This was another one that I struggled to get even 5 minutes out of. I tried stuffing it into my silicone mask sheet cover. It didn't help, not at all. Maybe the mask essence might have been moisturizing if I'd been able to really get any of it into my skin, but that never happened. I guess we'll never know if the mask essence was any good or not because this is never coming near my face ever again. Neutrogena Hydro Burst Hydrating Hydrogel Sheet Mask. First of all, this sheet mask has a lot of plastic garbage associated with it. It is a hydrogel mask, which means that it's split into 2 parts, one for the top half of your face and one for the bottom. This is another instance of the mask just not having any clinging power. There's relatively little mask essence in here. Here's a picture of me looking like a blobfish. Because under my silicone mask cover, it's just trying to escape somehow. If I hadn't been vigilantly watching it, I think it would have tried to literally clamber off of my face and hopefully into the garbage can where it belongs. It's fragranced. I did not like the fragrance at all, and it just was not particularly moisturizing. Hydrogel masks are supposed to be better at that sort of thing than regular masks, but maybe it's because this is a Western company? I don't know. This is just yet another Neutrogena product that I'm incredibly disappointed by. God damn, this sucked. Neostrata Hydration and Replenishment. Also, in terms of ridiculous, unnecessary foo-fa-ra, there were 2 of these bits of netting in with this mask. Neostrata is not a company I'd heard of, but this was a little bit on the pricey side, so I thought maybe this is some kind of shishi European brand. No, it's from New Jersey. This mask is made of this gross biocellulose, which is a kind of a gel, and it's supposed to be biodegradable, but it just sat there and did nothing. If Western beauty companies are gonna start trying to make sheet masks, they need to actually make sure there's, mask essence in there to actually hydrate the skin. This has 0.15% of hyaluronic acid. And surprise, surprise, it did nothing. Actually, it did worse than nothing. It behaved like a reverse sheet mask and sucked the moisture out of me. I had flakes on the side of my face from this stupid freaking thing. Not a great introduction to Neostrata products, that's for freaking sure. It's pricey and it's garbage. It left my face worse than before I put it on. My Beauty Diary Hyaluronic Acid Moisture Mask. Oh boy, I cannot believe I am doing this. I cannot believe that I'm putting a My Beauty Diary sheet mask in with the worst. I should explain myself. So this is a premier Taiwanese brand of sheet masks, and I have used and loved other My Beauty Diary sheet masks. I've used them and loved them even in Canada. It's not that these masks can't hold up against a Canadian winter. They absolutely can, but this one, how to explain? I put it on, there's a lot of mask essence in here. It's pretty runny, but there's so much of it that you can collect a lot and just pack it onto your face. The cling on this is really good. It stayed adhered to my face. It looked incredible. Once I took it off, my skin was all nice and hydrated and plumped, and I was like, wow, is this gonna take the crown? And then an hour later, all of that moisture just vanished without a trace, and my skin was incredibly dry and parched all day long. This mask is a cock tease. It promises you all sorts of things and makes you think you're gonna get that sweet, sweet mask lovin', and then nope, gone. I just could not believe it, and I actually got 2 of these just to confirm. Multiple testing indicates that this mask will just absolutely break your heart. I don't know what the problem here is. Definitely do not recommend. Begone, vile temptress. Moving away from the absolute worst to those that were merely shitty, Innisfree Skin Clinic Mask in beta-glucan. This is one of the few non-hyaluronic acid-based masks. I also got the Innisfree hyaluronic acid mask. It is better than this, so you'll see where it falls in the rankings later. But yeah, beta-glucan. I love beta-glucan. Every day I use a serum containing it. It is one of the mainstays of my oil and serum cocktail that helps keep the worst ravages of the cold at bay. This is not it. First of all, it is full of essential oils. No citrus oils, but lots of other ones. It's got pine oil, which my skin reacts badly badly too. Lavender oil, rosemary oil, geranium oil, all of these are filled with allergens. It had quite a handicap to begin with, but then I put it on. It seemed nice at first, but it just did nothing over the course of the day. It wasn't particularly plumping, but at least at first I thought it was moisturizing. That went away pretty quickly. By the middle of the day, I was having to put on extra lotion just so that my skin wouldn't feel like it was cracking apart. Very bad, but at least it didn't rot away while it was on my face, I guess. Tony Moly Master Lab Hyaluronic Acid Sheet Mask. Master my ass. This mask has a very, very strong fragrance, and it was just crap. It didn't do anything. Sort of sat there, hanging out on my face. It did nothing to moisturize, hydrate, or plump, but at least it didn't irritate my skin. That's the only good thing I can say about it. Patchology Get Dewy With It Mega Moisture Mask. I had higher hopes for this one than I did with most of the Western sheet masks, just because the ingredients at least seemed kind of okay. It's got algae in it and hyaluronic acid and I think aloe extract and, you know, some basic good stuff. And yeah, it stinks. It's got a really powerful fragrance. It's very floral. I don't care for extremely floral fragrances to begin with. And it's one of those things where like it's on and you can't stop noticing it. It does not go away. It didn't hydrate my skin at all. It did nothing besides stink. It stinks. Etude House Skin Moisturizing Hyaluronic Acid Mask. This mask is another case of high hopes. I've tried masks from Etude House's 0.2mm line before and really liked them, but I don't like this one. This is straight up bad. The mask essence is really runny. It stays on your face okay, so there's that, I guess, but it just didn't do anything. It didn't add any moisture to my skin, and as a result, I felt dried out by the end of the day. It's cheap. There's that. Elf Hydrating Water Sheet Mask. Again, I don't know what I was expecting buying from a discount Western skincare company. Not to say that I have never used any e.l.f. products. I love e.l.f. makeup brushes, but this is not good. It's got decent ingredients in there. It's glycerin and urea, which is an incredible moisturizer, aloe, and it has lavender essential oil in it, so that wasn't great, but the fragrance wasn't overpowering. It was just a complete and total non-entity that over the course of the day left my skin lacking in moisture. This is a common thread here in the bad but not worst masks. They're not particularly plumping or hydrating even in the short term, and in the long term, my skin starts to get dry and even irritated by the end of the day. Onto the failure pile with you, e.l.f. sheet mask. Uzu Bear Water Bang Hydrating Sheet Mask. For the best of the bad. Let's be real, I bought this for the packaging and the name. You've got this amazing looking mask. I'm a sucker for anything with a galaxy print on it, so you have galaxy shit and an adorable teddy bear. This is a two-step mask. While I think that kind of thing is silly, there's a time and a place for skintertainment. This is a pricier mask. This little area right here, which is transparent, there's extra liquid. This is meant to be like a slightly heavier moisturizing ampoule that you squeeze and pop it like a moisture-filled delicious zit, and it disgorges its contents into the rest of the sheet mask. So you kind of mix it up and then you put it on your face. I thought this was going to rock my world. It's called the Water Bang Mask. It's gonna water bang me right in the face. No, it was a whole lot of trouble for absolutely no payoff. I'm so disappointed in this. But the packaging is really cute and A+ for the name. But neither I nor my face was properly water banged by this mask. Moving away from the crap section into those masks that were merely adequate, we kick it off with Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Deep Moisture Water Mask. Talk about another high hopes situation. I've used a lot of Isntree products and really liked them. This one, it's got two of those extra plastic sheets on it. Not so great as far as the environment. And then the mask itself is this weird gel. What is it called? The MG gel. It feels gross. I didn't like the way it felt on my face. There's something about this that I think kept the essence from absorbing properly. From what I could tell, the mask essence is pretty good, but I just didn't get all that much of it into my face. I really wish the mask was just a regular cotton mask. Sometimes extra bells and whistles don't add anything, Isntree. Sidmul Waterful Pure Essence Sheet Mask. Again with the meh. Sidmul is another brand that I really enjoy a lot of their products, and this was okay, I guess. It moisturized my skin a little bit, and it wasn't irritating or anything. It didn't stink. It was moisturizing, but there was no like plumping or brightening or anything along those lines. This is the dutiful marriage, staying together for the kids kind of mask. Less than ideal. Ultru, I'm sorry for my skin. pH 5.5 jelly mask in moisture. So first of all, can we talk about the name of this company? The brand is Ultru, but this particular line of products is I'm sorry for my skin, and to me it sounds like something that the world's most passive-aggressive teenager would say. I'm sorry for my skin, Mom! You're not really apologizing. This mask essence was actually not bad. This touts itself as a jelly mask, and while I didn't find it to be quite as plumping as other jelly masks I've tried, it was not bad. Main problem is this is full of citrus essential oils. No bergamot oil, but 3 different types of other citrus oil in it. It's kind of pricey and not nearly hydrating enough to justify all those citrus oils. I'm sorry for this mask! Jeez! The Dear Packer Dr. Packer Water Beam Sheet Mask. Another case of really cute packaging with really disappointing results. I freaking love this. It's like an IV bag of fluids that's supposed to go right in your face. What an adorable concept. This also has way more mask essence in it than any other sheet mask. The average amount is about 20 milliliters. Some of them have as much as 25. This is 35 milliliters of mask essence. You'd think that this would be the most hydrating thing imaginable, but it was just kind of I pre-gamed a ton with it. I squeezed every bit out and just packed it all over my face. It was hydrating. And it did last throughout the day, so I wasn't deprived of moisture, but it didn't do much in the way of plumping or brightening, and I just thought that with all that mask essence in there, it would really be incredible. It was just so-so, and considering the extra boofera that goes along with this, definitely not worth it. I wanted you to bring my face back to life, IV bag, but you failed me. For the last time. Innisfree Skin Clinic Mask in hyaluronic acid. Here's where that second Innisfree mask ended up. The Skin Clinic masks are pretty expensive as far as sheet masks go, and well, this one isn't full of essential oils, which was great, and definitely was more hydrating. It just didn't do anything special, and for that price, I need specialness. I need some kind of wow factor, and it just didn't deliver on that. It's just a very, very basic sheet mask that you can get the same kind of results for less than $1. No reason to spend your money on this. Underwhelming. And finally, for the meh section, the Duel Highly Moisturizing Essence Mask Pack. This is another mask I tested multiple times just to see what was going on with it. Duel is a brand that I've tried and enjoyed before, and I was really hoping that this was gonna be on par with its other products, and it kind of is. What am I talking about? Well, the mask essence is really nice. If I was just grading this on the essence alone, this would be in the good, maybe even the great section. The problem is the mask material. It's very stiff. It's not itchy like some of the masks in the worst category, but it is too stiff to really stay on your face all that well. It did last for a full 15 minutes on my skin, but I kept having to keep pushing it down. Towards the end, it had started to peel off just from every part of my face, although it did stay on the cheeks for a long time. Here's a picture of it making me look like Colonel Sanders. The mask material, not great, but the essence itself, since I was able to hold it on my face for long enough for the essence to actually get absorbed, it was really good. It was plumping and brightening and hydrating. If the mask were better at clinging onto my skin, it could have been so much more. Duel, get your shit together. Wishful Thirst Trap Cocoon Mask. While I don't normally purchase a lot of skincare from Sephora, oh god, Jesus, this thing is blinding me even through the viewfinder. While I do not plan on testing anything else in Hada skincare line because all of it is fragranced and to my knowledge very heavily fragranced, I couldn't resist. For one thing, the hologram packaging takes me back to the 80s, but also the name of it, the Thirst Trap Mask. I love that. It's my favorite. Also the term cocoon mask, I liked that. This actually didn't suck. Yay! It's not the best, obviously, but it was moisturizing. It was kind of fragile. That's the main thing keeping this from going any higher. It felt very similar to some of the other masks that had fallen off my face. This didn't. It didn't fall apart at all, but it was starting to come close, so I couldn't wear it for that long, but for what it did, the mask essence was fine. The fragrance was not overpowering. I actually liked this. If you're in a bind and the only kind of sheet masks you can get your hands on are the ones in Sephora, this is not a bad choice. COSRX Triple Hyaluronic Water Wave Sheet Mask. I hadn't tried many sheet masks from COSRX before this one. In fact, I don't know how many sheet masks they ever made before this. This is part of a series they have. So this is the hyaluronic acid mask. They have a centella asiatica mask, a propolis mask, and a ceramide mask that they just released, all part of the same line. This has eucalyptus oil in it, and eucalyptus oil and my face do not get along, but it didn't cause me any irritation. So it's way down on the ingredients list here, which is probably why. The essence is pretty good. I found it to be pretty darn hydrating and brightening. Not the best at plumping, but it was pretty good. My main issue is that this is expensive. I can't really justify shelling out for this mask when obviously there's a lot more masks that are cheaper and work even better than this. But for what it is, it's pretty good. Dr. Jart Plus Vital Hydra Solution. Oh, Dr. Jart. This has geranium oil in it, which contains eugenol, which is pretty allergenic. Aside from that though, it's a good sheet mask. It gets the job done. Packs in some extra hydration so that my skin does not go weeping in the desert begging for moisture. But it didn't really wow me enough to compensate for the geranium oil. Still pretty good. Esol. The mask. Esol is a brand that I have tried and I absolutely love it. It's kind of hard to get your hands on in the West, but everything I've tried from them has been totally worth it. It's very cheap and you can usually get it in big packs. The only thing kind of keeping it out of the great tier is the fact that it smells like pencil shavings. Now, I don't necessarily object to that. One of my all-time favorite sheet masks, the Benton Snail Bee mask, smells like pencil shavings and feet, but it also murders zits in their zit wombs, or as I like to call it, my face, whereas this did not do that. It's pretty good though. It definitely packs a moisturizing punch. Give it a try. If you don't mind the way it smells, this does have some pretty great moisturizing and plumping benefits. Dermal Hyaluronate Collagen Essence Mask. Dermal is the brand that sells those giant bundles of sheet masks on Amazon where you can get 40 masks for $10. So these are dirt cheap. The mask formula is almost identical. The only thing they swap out is different kind of botanical extracts. I have tried other versions of this sheet mask with different ingredients and was really not impressed. I found the mask material was really stiff and it didn't stay on my face very well. This one though, this was great. I was blown away by how something so cheap could be so good. The only reason it's not further up on the list is that it's kind of hard to get your hands on just this version of the mask. Some of the masks based on different ingredients they'll sell 10 packs of on Amazon. I couldn't find this mask in a similar deal, so you generally only get it when you buy a shit ton of other masks that you don't necessarily know if they're gonna be any good. If you're in the mood to experiment, it could be a lot of fun, but if you just come across this one in the wild, definitely pick it up. It's dirt cheap and has really good results. Mijin MJ Care Hyaluronic Essence Mask. Along the same lines, this Mijin mask is just a solid workhorse. This is also just really cheap. You can buy it in big bundles with a bunch of similar types of masks, swapping out just the kind of extract or whatever is the focus of the mask. But it's also a lot easier to get this one individually or in big packs of 10. That's why I ranked it over the dermal one, just in terms of something that's really, really inexpensive that you could afford to buy a buttload of and use them constantly. This was mind-blowingly good for how cheap it is. It does have fragrance in it, but it doesn't linger. Very, very pleasant, a really good, solid sheet mask. Minon Amino Moist Sheet Mask. This may be slightly controversial that I'm ranking this so low. I mean, yes, it's towards the top of the good pile, but it's not in the great, and a lot of people really love this. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And the reason why is that it moisturized really well. This is one of those masks where you can just feel it like sinking in and blooming under your skin with wonderful hydration, but it's not very plumping. And that's a big part of why I use sheet masks, to plump up my skin and make texture temporarily disappear. And this mask just isn't the best for that. But it is really nice. It's unfragranced, which is pretty rare in sheet masks. And I love how minimal the packaging is. This is very small. But for me, it just wasn't as great as a lot of people have said it was. The Neogen's Hyaluronic Acid Moisturizing Mask. But even smaller is this mask. So this is a Taiwanese mask. A lot of these brand names are so hard to keep straight. There's a Neogen, and then there's Neogen. Neogents sounds like a bunch of 21st century dudes going around in top hats and monocles and shit. We're Neogents. This mask has a lot going for it. In addition to the 3 different types of hyaluronic acid in here, it's got ceramides, also very minimalist packaging. There's not much waste here. This is the best of the good. It was just a little lacking in the plumping department, but otherwise this was fantastic. It's also not the easiest to get your hands on, at least not in the West. That's the thing about Taiwanese sheet masks, is they're incredible, but they can be so hard to find. If you do see this mask, pick it up, give it a try. Now, my friends, we are into the greats, the masks that I just unabashedly would recommend to pretty much anybody. And kicking it off, the Mediheal NMF Aqua Ring Ampoule Mask EX. This is a classic for a reason. So the NMF stands for Natural Moisturizing Factors, and boy are there a lot of them in this. Honestly, the only thing keeping this the number 5 spot and not boosting it up higher is that it's got fragrance in it, but this is fantastic. It does a little bit of everything. It plumps, it brightens, it moisturizes. It's very soothing on the skin. It's also really easy to get your hands on. Literally, you can get this in some grocery stores in Canada, so whenever I spot this, I'll always pick up a couple because it's just that great. And this is a very, very popular mask, and again, it's really popular for a reason, but I've got stuff that's even better. Oh yes, I do. My Scheming Hyaluronic Hydrating Mask. The ultimate champion of brightness. First of all, I love the brand. My Scheming. I am scheming, and the schemes are mine. I absolutely love it. This is another amazing Taiwanese sheet mask brand. So this mask was very moisturizing, pretty good plumping, and just absolutely mind-bogglingly brightening. Those brightening results lasted all day, so if dullness is a problem with your skin, give this a try. In that regard, it is phenomenal, and if I ever do a battle of brightening sheet masks, this will go back into the contenders. Highly recommend. Hada Labo Gokujyun Sheet Mask. We're into the top 3, beginning with this mask from Japan. Very petite mask. Hada Labo is a brand that I absolutely love and have loved for years. Their hydrating toners are to die for, and I figured their sheet masks would be no different, and I was right. This is a truly great sheet mask. It is unfragranced, so safe for everyday use, even for somebody like me, and it just does everything that I want. The holy trifecta of moisturizing, brightening, and plumping. It's all right here. It's not necessarily the easiest mask to get your hands on, but you can find it on Amazon. If you can, I really do recommend it. It's got a laser-like focus on the benefits of humectants. There's only 20 milliliters in here, but this absolutely beats the pants off of other masks that have 25 or, well, even 35 milliliters. It is small, but mighty. The Sexylook Aqua Treatment Mask. These were really hard decisions to make. These sheet masks are so good. And a lot of them are from Taiwan. The Sexylook Aqua Mask. Apparently there's this one which is blue. There's a blue-green one which isn't very good. So make sure it says Aqua and that it's this nice kind of sapphire blue. It's also unfragranced, and I was kind of surprised by this. I didn't know what to expect, and it just blew me away at how great my skin looked after applying this. The mask essence feels wonderful. It's easy to pre-game with because it's a nice viscosity. It stays on your face for a long time. It is just an always excellent. Really, the only downside is that this one is vanishingly rare. I could only find one Western retailer that stocks this. I didn't even see it on Yes Style. Please, 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 Sexylook, send more of these out into the universe. I would buy them. They're phenomenal. It's that time, y'all. It's time to crown the winner. The ultimate sheet mask. The king of hydration. The Plumpener. God, that sounds dirty. Ugh. Okay, we're just gonna go with calling it the best. If there is a theme to today's reviews, it's that Taiwan makes the best sheet masks. Dr. Morita is a brand that I'd heard quite a lot about, but had trouble getting my hands on until very recently, and oh, I am so glad that I did. A lot of these masks I tested repeatedly just to make sure that either the benefits or the drawbacks were not just a one-off, and oh my god, when you put this mask on, you can feel it plumping your skin. It lasts basically the perfect time. It's like 15 to 20 minutes. The formula is very similar to other really good Taiwanese sheet masks. It does have ceramides in it, lots of different kinds of hyaluronic acid. Whatever the formulation on this one is, it's just so so great. It is head and shoulders above every other mask here, just in terms of how much it just inflates my skin with moisture. Obviously, I wore it before filming today. I cannot get enough of this sheet mask. It's fragranced. The fragrance is also, though, not particularly noticeable. I barely registered it. This is just absolutely chef's kiss, perfect, phenomenal. If you see these, buy them. This makes my skin so firm I could probably lift weights with it. That's how good it is. It's not complicated, it's pretty small, and the moisture lasts all day. Even on days like today when it's 30 below. In the daytime, it's 30 below. Yeah. This is incredibly restorative. If you've been struggling with dehydration in your skin, give this one a go. It makes everything feel better. I have plans to order a bunch of these so that I might never be parted from them anytime I need to film. That's just how good these are and how great my skin looks after using this mask. It also brightens really well. After a go around with this mask, I feel like I can take on the whole world. I know, it's ridiculous, right? It's just a sheet mask, but what a sheet mask it is. And so, I crown the winner of the 2021 Battle of Hydrating Sheet Masks, Dr. Morita's Hyaluronic Acid Essence Mask. And of course, what that means is that this is the mask I will be giving away. The way my giveaways work is that you need to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and leave a comment. That is #plumpface. I'm trying not to have just generic hashtags. This will also be in the description down below. One winner will be chosen at random, and I will be sending you 10, that's right, 10 of these bad boys to brighten, hydrate, and plump your skin. However, I'm gonna say, y'all need to really be better about watching your YouTube comments and replies, because the last time I tried to give something away, it was hell on earth getting in contact with any of the people that had won. So just be vigilant to let me give you things. Woohoo! That was one hell of a water ride. Until next time, happy sheet masking and a very moist year to you and to us all. Bye, y'all!